Hello and welcome to this beginner's guide to using Claude for content creation. My name is Lewis with Content Logic Dynamics. Do you remember the last time you stared at a blank page and you wondered how to start your content creation? Well, today in this video, I'm going to share the method I wish I knew when I first started using Claude. So what we're going to be learning is how to start your first conversation with Claude, which I'm going to show in a second. We're also going to be learning the simple framework for getting clear and useful responses. I'll also have some prompts that you can download. There are different prompts for different platforms for content creation. I'm also going to be showing a foolproof way to check AI generated content. And later on, I will be giving you a practical exercise that you can try on your own. Really quickly, I just wanted to go over Claude, the main interface of Claude. And this is what it normally looks like. You can see here I'm on the professional plan. So your recent chats would be here, different things that you've recently talked about, different questions you've asked, different chats. Here there's projects because this is the professional plan, so you can save like it's similar to custom GPTs to where you can just put in instructions and save it as like a custom version of Claude basically. This is the sidebar. We'll show you recent chats. This would be settings here like appearance, like I can change it to dark, which is how I normally have it. If you click on the settings, this will show your profile, gives you little different kind of things that you can do down here, like chat suggestions, prompt examples. Like if you did that, it'll give you like an example prompt that you can click on, and it'll automatically generate those for you and generate an answer. This is just like artifacts like code snippets, text documents, website designs. Right here, you can read all about this. This is what this is. You could turn this off or on, all of these. Billing is just showing like would be showing your last four of your credit card, all the different invoices. This would be account, like you can export data right here. You can export all the data to basically to the whatever email that you have signed up. So if I go to start a new chat, I can show you right here. This is like a basic example. You can type in something like write me a 100 word blog post about Cuban coffee. And this is actually a new feature here. You can come up with your own style and you can save it. I have a blogging style here, but I usually just click explanatory, and you can see here normal would be default, concise would be shorter, explanatory is like for educational responses, and formal is like clear and well structured responses. So I'll try formal just to show you the output right here. So you can see here it's thinking and it's showing me the response. And down here you can see Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This is one of the models. You can go to these different models and it shows you right here like what they are. Some of them are older, but the best one is, as of now anyway, is 3.5 Sonnet. So that's what I usually use. This little place here is where you can, it's a paperclip, you can upload files. So you would click on this, upload a file. You would upload a screenshot, or you could capture a screenshot. And you could also add your Google Drive account, which that's what it's doing here. So, and this is a smaller thing here, chat controls. It's like simple stuff, like you can change the font, like to the default font here. You could also click to start a new chat right here. And as you can see, if I started a new chat, this is the generated prompts that you could use. So you could just click it and it will show you the answer that it gives you basically. So this is just like some general information. So that's about it for the basics of Claude. It's very, very similar to ChatGPT and some of these other chatbots. So just wanted to give an overview of this so people can understand like what it is and what it actually does. So the art of communicating with Claude would be the coffee shop rules. What I like to call it is basically talking to Claude like a helpful expert at a coffee shop, kind of like a casual conversation, but make it clear and concise. And the three components to that would be being clear and specific, using natural language, and also avoiding overly technical terms to not make it too complicated, basically. All right, this is the structure of an effective prompt. Prompting is really important when it comes to any kind of AI chat. And the first thing will be starting with a context, like assigning a role and a tone. You have to include any knowledge or documents to give context to the conversation. Second thing would be stating your goal. And one example would be like, write me 1,000-word blog post about the benefits of hiking. And the third thing would be specifying a format. After you state the goal, you could also include something like the example here, include a what you will learn section and a conclusion. So I'm back at the Claude interface. I'm going to give you an example here of writing a prompt, a pretty good prompt for Claude on a subject. So I already have it pre-copied, and I just pasted it in really quick. So right here you can see I defined the role, I defined the tone, then I gave the instructions here, which is write a 1,000 word blog post about hiking. And then I also included the tone, and this would be some extra instructions here, include a main point section and conclusion. And I'm going to use the explanatory. So as you can see right here, it's giving you a pretty lengthy output. If you had a document, you could include it here. You could upload a document about hiking to give it more context, and you'd be able to refine the output of this response by asking like follow-up questions. And you could also have added in even more instructions. So I just wanted to point that out. So this was just a quick demonstration of the type of prompting that you can do with Claude, and it would be similar in ChatGPT. So the more you define inside the prompt itself, the better output that you will get. All right, let's go over the content creation framework. That is the triple C method, as I like to call it. And that is context, which is setting the stage, command, which is the clear instructions, and clarifications, which is the specific requirements, as you saw in my earlier prompt that I gave about hiking. And the three types of go-to prompts, which I'm going to have a download link in the video description for these, would be a blog post outline, a social media caption, and a video script structure. All of those three prompts I'm going to leave for you to download, and they can be very, very helpful in the future if you're trying to create different types of content for different types of platforms. Some of the common mistakes to avoid are these three right here, which is being too vague by just putting in some simple prompt like write me a blog post about such and such. That's just going to give you a really simple, vague output. Also, not specifying the tone, which is something that you don't want to forget, because it's going to, again, it's just going to be like a really, really simple response, and it's not going to be probably exactly what you want. And also not providing enough context, which is like not including like any kind of knowledge documents or anything like that. Again, it's gonna give you like a very, very simple response, and that's not what most people are looking for. So when it comes to quality control with AI, I use a 3-point check system. The first one would be accuracy check, which is checking to see how accurate the responses are that you get depending on what you're asking it, depending on the prompt. The tone alignment would be the tone that you want, um, such as like, do you want it to be a professional tone? Do you want it to be an excited tone? There's tons of different tones that you can put in. You can basically put in whatever you want, and that will be something that you will put in the prompt. And the human touch points would be like adding in your own voice. And it's going to depend on the type of prompt that you put in to begin with. Like you can encourage like a conversational type of tone by you can incorporate like personal anecdotes. You could put in that in like the knowledge base. You could put all that onto a document and upload it, like I was talking about earlier. You could also leverage the style feature, which is the feature that I showed earlier about, do you want a concise style? You can add in your own type of style and save it. So that's all going to depend on what you put in. And that's the system that I use to quality control check the responses that I get from Claude. So to refine Claude's responses, you can ask for revisions. You can also specify changes that you want, and you should also maintain consistency. I will show you this in the next section when I do a practical exercise on creating a blog post outline. So this section of the video is going to be a quick practical exercise that you can use, and it will be about generating a blog post outline. So I'm going to paste in the instructions here, and as you can see, I gave it a role. You are an expert blog post outline agent. I put a tone, informative and professional. The instructions are generate me a blog post outline for a blog post titled 5 Morning Habits for Better Productivity. And I included some extra instructions to include 3 subsections for each main section. So as you can see, it's creating the blog post outline. And as I mentioned, you could include this technically in like the knowledge base of a blog post that you want to create, because this is actually the outline for it. So you would copy this and paste it into like a Word document and then upload it. And then you would put in some instructions to create you a blog post with this title. And it would then know the outline of the blog post. So you could see here, it even gives you a conclusion and a call to action at the end. And this is the main section right here of the five morning habits, and it gives you the outline, 3 subsections for each, just like I put in the instructions. So this shows you right here what you can do with prompting if you are put in the instructions correctly and you give it a lot of context. You define a role and a tone, because it's bad if you put in something so simple and then it just creates like a really vague output, and it's not really that great, which is something I did back in the day when I first started using these. I had no idea what you could do. So as I went along and learned that you could put in like a role and a tone, and you can just create such really good instructions, the more you can refine it. So like with this one, you could refine it if you wanted to. Like you could say, please summarize this blog post outline. And you could say, give me, let's just say, make it 4 sentences long. And this is just an example of what you can do. This is just like kind of a summarization of the actual, the actual outline. This outline explores 5 essential morning habits that you can significantly enhance, or that can significantly enhance daily productivity. So as you can see, by asking like follow-up questions and giving follow-up instructions, you can create more content just out of a piece of content that you already created. So hopefully this helped you out, at least give you some kind of idea of what you can do in creating a content this way. Okay, just a quick recap of what we went over in the video. First, I showed you how to start your first conversation with Claude by entering in a simple prompt and getting a simple response. Then I went over a framework for getting clear and useful responses, which was basically putting in better prompts by specifying like a tone and adding in better instructions to get better output. Then I went over 3 prompts for content creation. It was 3 different types of prompts that you could use, and I'm going to include those for download in the video description. Next, I went over quality control and the different types of steps that you should use for your AI generated content. And finally, I gave you a practical exercise that you can use so you can refine your process for content creation, no matter what it is, using Claude. So your next steps should be to start with a simple prompt and see what you get. And also you should practice the triple C method that I mentioned earlier in the video, which was context, command, and clarification. And then you should use the 3-point check system, which was the accuracy check, the tone alignment, and the human touch points that you should add in. All right, I just wanted to give a quick thank you for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.